Occupy Wall Street movement. Today's talk is about Occupy Medicine. Vaccines for the 99% versus profits for the 1%. The story is told of a person, a salesperson, who went to a village and said he wanted to buy a donkey. A villager said, I have a donkey and I need the money. I'll give you my donkey. It'll cost $100. The salesperson paid the $100 and the villager was supposed to deliver the donkey the next day. The next day the donkey didn't arrive. So the salesperson went to the villager and asked him what happened. The villager said, I'm sorry, the donkey died. Then give me back my money, said the salesperson. I'm sorry, he said, I told you I needed the money is spent. I cannot give you back the money. Then give me back the dead donkey, said the salesperson. The villager said, you want the dead donkey? What will you do with the dead donkey? He said, that's none of your business. I've paid you $100. You say the donkey is dead. Give me the dead donkey. So the villager got a cart and transported the dead donkey to the salesperson. 2 weeks later, the villager went back to the salesperson and said, tell me, what did you do with that donkey? He said, I sold it. I sold it for a profit of $898. He says, no, well, not sold it. I raffled it. I raffled it for $2 a go and I sold 500 tickets. You raffled a dead donkey and no one complained? Asked the villager. Well, not exactly. One person complained. The guy who won the raffle. I gave him back his $2. This reminds me of how vaccines are sold nowadays. 250,000 people die of hepatocellular carcinoma in India each year, said an article published in Health Economics by Dr. Mark Miller, who gives his address variously as CDC Atlanta and WHO Geneva. The figures from the ICMR, which has a good registry of cancer, was about 5,000. So I wrote to the journal and asked to see the model that Miller used. Miller replied that a model stratified for geographic region and income group had been used and that it was available on the CDC website. There was no model on the website. So how do you think they came to this figure? I assumed that they modeled it from Taiwanese figures. 1 in 4 males in Taiwan who are hepatitis B carriers have hepatocellular carcinoma. This is a world record. It is 3 times the mortality in Taiwanese females. It is 17 times the mortality in Canada. But if you take the Taiwanese male mortality from hepatitis B and project it over the whole population of India, male and female, then you can come up with this figure. If 4% of our population are carriers and 1 in 4 is to die, then 1% of all our deaths must be hepatocellular carcinoma from hepatitis B. And 1% of deaths in a population of 1 million is 250,000. We made up this model and sent it to the Lancet. The Lancet published it. Then we wrote back to the journal Health Economics saying that Miller must publish his model or he should retract his paper. Miller replied that his model was lost. This is published in the journal Health Economics, but the paper has not been retracted to date. A lot of H. influenza growing in the throat, but invasive disease causing meningitis or pneumonia is said to be rare in India. The incidence is said to be about 9 per 100,000 compared to about 109 per 100,000 in the West. This was well known beforehand. This is an editorial published in the WHO Bulletin which asks, is HIB really needed in Asia? All the references are available, and I can send you the PowerPoint presentation if you need it. Now, why should we have this exception for Asia? It is said that when we did studies to look for the effect of vaccines, the antibody titers even before giving the vaccines were taken, and they were all protective. They were all of protective levels. Now, this could be passively acquired immunity. However, studies had shown that this kept on increasing even without vaccination, suggesting that it was active immunity. After vaccinating, the antibody titers in Asia rise about 10-fold higher than in the West. This suggests that the children were already immune and the vaccine was acting merely as a booster. And probably the vaccine was not needed.